Okay, so in the last tutorial we were introduced to arrays. We know what an array is. So this is an array here, um, this line. Okay, awesome. So just for a bit of practice, you could make an array of cities as well if you wanted to. So you could say let cities equal to, and then just come up with some cities here. We might do European cities. So let's say like, Madrid, Paris, Rome, and maybe we'll do like Warsaw or something. Right. Okay. Warsaw. Okay, awesome. Right. So now we've created a new array using the let keyword. We've created a variable called cities. What we've done is using one equal sign, i.e. the assignment operator, we've assigned it the value of this array. Okay, so we have our opening and closing square bracket there, and we have our different elements. Each one is a string, comma, separated. Okay, awesome. Now, as I said in the last tutorial, an array can store multiple data types, okay? So, it doesn't have to be an array of strings. You could also do an array that had numbers in it, maybe even a non-value as well. We'll learn about something called null later on in this course where we just don't have a value for something. So let's actually do an example of an array with numbers, okay? So what we're going to do is, let's just go back to our heroes, okay? Sorry about this now. Should have left the array. Um, Whoops. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new array and we're just going to call it like pocket change or change for our heroes, okay? So let me just delete that there. Okay, so let's assume we're in a situation where our heroes were out drinking with Superman and Wonder Woman and Batman and Robin. We're having a great time. Let's say we're somewhere in Texas, maybe we're near Dallas or Houston, but we're staying like 20 minutes away in like a slightly more rural area of Texas. So we're out in some sort of bar and then we want to get home and it's going to cost $50 and we want to ask around, Superman, Wonder Woman, what sort of change do you have? Okay. So maybe Superman, because he's a reporter, has $30. Wonder Woman only has $10. We're like, oh, we're short, right? We need $50. Batman has nothing. Batman has nothing. He's so used to everything being paid from. No, I'm joking. Batman is very wealthy, but like, why don't you have money with you, Batman? Come on, Bruce. And Robin has maybe left his wallet inside, right? So we have a null value there. We've no value for Robin, and we'll, as I say, learn more about null later on in this course. So right now, we don't have enough change, i.e. money, to pay $50 for a taxi back to where we're staying, because we're all out partying, right, as I say. Robin goes back into the bar, he finds his wallet, and he actually has a lot more than we thought. He's like $100. So that's totally great. We can now totally afford to pay for the taxi. So guys, very briefly, that is an example of an array with numbers. We can just change it to money if you don't call it change where you're from. But basically, it's comma separated as well. I mean, you could just, as well, if you wanted, you could create a random array and it could have a combination of strings and numbers. But, typically when you're organizing data, you probably won't have that, okay? If you want to mix up data, strings, numbers, that kind of thing, Boolean, you can do that in an object. It's another data type, which we'll discuss later on in the course. And the last thing I want you to be aware of as well is you can actually create an empty array, okay? So maybe we want to create an array called movies, and we don't have any movies yet in our database, so it's just going to be an empty array. So this here is me creating a variable called movies, and we've assigned it the value using the equal sign, an empty array. So that there is an example of an empty array. And you're probably wondering why you'd ever want to create an empty array. Well, hypothetically, maybe you're creating some sort of like YouTube or Spotify clone, and there's going to be like a watch later or favorite songs, a user can add to. Maybe their favorite songs is an empty array for now, and every time they see a song they like, they click on a button, add to favorites, and then we add a song or a movie, whatever the case is, into an array. Okay, so guys, that is arrays in JavaScript. We'll touch upon later again in the course when we start looking at loops. So we've now covered a few different data types in this course so far. We've seen strings, a string of text. We've seen numbers, like the number 30 or 10 or whatever. And we've also seen arrays, okay? So let's continue talking about data types in the next tutorial.